Hello everyone, I'm Mark Suxford and I want to welcome you all to my new podcast called People Behind Brands, brought to you by Making Websites Better. Throughout the series, I'll be opening up my little black book of contacts where I'll be joined by an inspirational guest from the world of business, getting to the bottom of what made them so successful. In each episode, I'll be touching upon the highs and the lows that every professional has faced along the way. To never miss an episode, subscribe to our exclusive content now and follow us on our social media platforms. People Behind Brands. Life lessons from the world of business. In the very last episode of Series 1, I'm joined by my friend and fellow podcast host, Martin the Gov Lambert. If you're an Ipswich Town supporter like me, or a football fan in general, this one is for you. Martin is known for fronting the popular YouTube channel, Talking Town, recently being nominated as a finalist at the 2021 Football Content Awards in the Best Football League Podcast category, with a loyal following of 3,000 subscribers and counting. As a regular contributor myself, we discuss why the channel is so popular, the highs and lows of supporting Ipswich Town Football Club, and as ever, touching upon the personal hardships he's experienced along the way that People Behind Brands is known for. From a troubled family background, a car accident that resulted in a disability, and dedicating his time to a growing community, Martin opens up about his past and life today as a loving father and husband to a leader on the Ipswich Town media circuit. It's time to get talking. It's time to welcome Martin Lambert into town. Martin, great to have you with us on the podcast. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah. Uncharted territory for me.
It is a bit weird, this, isn't it? You being the guest and me being the host. Normally the other way around.
I love it.
Yeah. So the Gov, as he's affectionately known, runs a platform called the HDR Network, providing fan opinions on various sports topics and reviews. One of those shows is Talking Town, an Ipswich Town Football Club fan show, recently nominated as a 2021 finalist at the FCA Best Football League Podcast category. I met Martin earlier this year and have regularly contributed on the shows, discussing the highs and lows of supporting Ipswich Town.
Mostly low.
Yeah, mostly low. Over that time, Martin has become a good friend and built a fantastic community of Ipswich Town fans that come together virtually and outside Portman Road on match days. Over the course of this episode, we also delve deeper into Martin's personal life and how his hardships have made him who he is today. So, Martin, let's go back to the start. You recently replayed your very first episode of Talking Town. Looking back on that and seeing how far the channel has come, talk to us about what that channel is all about now.
Well, yeah, it's a platform where Ipswich Town fans, as you know, because you're one of the key contributors to that platform, comes and to have their say, unfiltered, 100% passionate with love about Ipswich Town. And I said the other day, it's about leaving your echo chamber, and I firmly believe that. Sometimes with social media, we can just see what reflects our own views, whereas on Talking Town, in fact, many times I have contributors that I don't agree with. I hear what they're saying, and I think I wouldn't agree with that. I don't agree with that. But that's what you want. That's what you want. You want that openness, that transparency, and that platform to debate. Something that I feel is missing from society as a whole these days. But Talking Town hopefully provides that type of environment.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. I mean, following Ipswich Town has become quite a chore over the years, if you agree.
Yes.
When results have been poor, performances get you down. What is your reason for getting up and, creating more content based on this club? I mean, why did you start doing this?
Love for the football club, but also it's my release. As you say, over the years, I'm in my early 30s now, and I've been following the club since the day I can remember. I've seen a few good years, but mostly it's been low and not great, and just decline upon decline. But it's the love of the football club, but it's also my release. It's my way of not writing or however characters you get on Twitter these days, or a Facebook post or something that, just full of profanities. I used to do that in my early 20s before I did this platform. Yeah, that's divisive and not the way to go. Whereas here I can discuss things with people like yourself who have got great opinions, measured, positive, offer a different spin, offer a different glance, and we really took off at the start of the pandemic, because when the pubs and the restaurants and the places you could go to do this type of thing with your friends stopped.
Yeah.
This is when we came into our own, if you like, as a virtual pub, if you want, and a place where you can just talk to your mates.
Yeah, and that's obviously where that community is sort of born from, really. But I mean, as you always say, it's not just you that makes the show. You have a whole host of contributors and friends that get involved with live recordings and, become the community, as I said. But, what was the idea behind that, and what makes it so special for you hosting these type of shows?
Well, personally, for me, the idea behind it was born out of a personal circumstance change. I used to be a laddie lad going out drinking on a Saturday night after the game, curries after the Saturday night game, plan on a Sunday morning, normally with a hangover. All of these different things that you are in your early 20s, late teens. I suffered an accident which left me disabled. I wasn't able to play football anymore. I wasn't able to drink alcohol even for a long time, and all these different things. And slowly my world shrunk, and those friends that were part of my circle then, the laddie lads, the drink, all that sort of stuff, their lives carried on. So where, when I'd see them perhaps at Christmas time, as we're at Christmas now, their life would be full of stuff they've done, like Amsterdam, different places they've traveled to. Mine would just be basically talking about pain and not able to tell them anything at all. So their circle started to move away from my circle, and what I thought was, if we got together once a week and did a podcast about our love, Ipswich Town Football Club, it's a way of keeping together. And from there, that was originally me, Rob and Neil, who are also still on the platform. And that's where it originally was born, just out of the fact that I was trying to keep those friends that I had that were football fans, or Ipswich Town fans, more importantly, close, that I could still speak to them once a week. And there was something that tied us together. And that's just taken off from there. Just madness.
Yeah. I think it's impressive of how it's sort of come on, really. But one big achievement you recorded this year was being nominated as a finalist at the 2021 FCA Best Football League podcast. You went with your team, Richard Moss and Matt Phillips. Talk to us about your feeling of being nominated in this category, and generally how you felt mixing with other big names on that special night.
That was amazing, because we were literally sat the table over from Arsenal Fan TV, and obviously if you see my stuff and you see Arsenal Fan TV, you may see a little bit of Don Robbie and Troops, etc., flavors coming through, because when you do the sort of stuff we do, you do look around at other people to see what they're doing, see what they did, inspiration, as you do in any business at any time, or anything you do at any time, from budgie breeding to horse racing to anything. You always look at everybody else, see what they're doing, etc. So they're big inspirations of mine, in the sense of what they've been able to achieve with a club that is much bigger than Ipswich Town, of course, but still, by and large, rubbish. Sorry to any Arsenal fans out there. But to be invited, to be nominated was just amazing inside the first year. Absolutely amazing. But as you said earlier, Tux, I always say, and I truly mean it, it's a we thing, not a me thing. And it's not me, it's us. And Rich and Matt, who I went with, we were kindly given tickets by the community. They paid for us to go. Rich and Matt are my lieutenants, if you like. They're the people that we do a show every week. They've got great ideas. Rich is known as the Cruncher affectionately. He's megaphone man on social media. Even on shows he's not on, he'll drive. And Matt's obviously got media contacts from his time at the FA. But really, I wasn't going to take anybody until the community came through to kindly donate the tickets, because I didn't feel it was right to take anyone, because it's a we thing. And really, I would love to have had a whole table full of all of us there, because it's truly, like tonight, for example, we've got 2 new people on. Yesterday was Rich and Matt. Then on Thursday there'll be 2 other people. It's a continuous sort of revolving door of different people, different contributors, different opinions, but the same Ipswich Town love.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like supporting Ipswich Town with the highs and lows, there's always challenges. I think recording, you know, whether it be, you know, a new podcast or an existing podcast, you just got to still maintain that. But what are some of the challenges you have experienced since running the podcast and obviously preparing that kind of fresh new content on literally a daily basis now?
Yeah, a daily basis. Because the one thing I'm keen to do with all my content is not go over old ground. You know, if we cover something on a Sunday, I'm very keen to try and make sure we don't cover it again on a Monday or a Thursday or whatever day of the show we do. It's got to be fresh, but equally, people's opinions are always different. That's the beauty of it. Even on the same topic, you can all have different opinions. The biggest thing I've come across really is Ipswich Town, if you don't know, are a third tier English football team. Used to be good, but they're third tier. If we had as many points as media outlets, would be in the Premier League, probably winning it by a canter, because there are so many of us and there's more growing, and that's great because fans are engaged and they're enthused, and I love that. People think I don't like it. I love it. I think it's brilliant when you hear fans talk on any platform. But if we had as many points as platforms, we'd be flying. But really, it's the social media, you know, trolls, really, people who have no idea what you truly do, but have got an opinion on what you do, and not necessarily a nice opinion. But businesses across the spectrum deal with that on a daily, monthly, yearly basis. That's never going away as long as social media is here. But we don't help ourselves sometimes. I will admit that.
How long do you think it takes you to, you know, edit and record it when it all comes together? How long do you think you spend on one kind of episode?
My wife would say too long. My wife would say it's a full-time job. My wife would say she never sees me. For me, it's just a labor of love. So I don't really count the hours as such. But, you know, you've got the planning of the content. You've got to talk to the contributors, see if there's anything that they want to specifically talk about, because I'm very keen to get their own flavor and opinion on every single show. So it's very much theirs because it's what it is. It is theirs. So talking to them, doing the talking points. Then you've got the introductions for different contributors, trying to update those or make new ones. Talking to George, who does our artwork. Then you've got editing, uploads, all of those different things. It takes, every episode probably takes at least half a day, without a shadow of a doubt, to really nail down. And that's important. I don't ever want to go into a show where we've done nothing and it comes across really bad, because the quality is what I think we're known for. Really good talking points, good production, or as best production as you can get for a fan-led platform on a shoestring budget, because obviously being disabled, I don't work. I just get the basic minimum. It's like £300 a month. So everything goes back into the platform, and everything we get from our fans goes back into the platform. So what you see is literally just a continuous involvement of that. Yeah.
I mean, with all that content that you're churning out, and you know, how much of an effect does that have on you, on your personal life? I know you just obviously mentioned a good lady wife there, and you know, you've got a young son keeping you occupied, but how much of an impact does that have on you?
Yeah, well, I'm primarily a full-time dad. That's me, full-time dad. What would be traditionally a housewife. You know, I stay at home, look after my son, and do all the things that traditionally, in 40 years ago, perhaps a woman would have been known for to do. But that's me, and a modern man, as they call it. And I'm happy. I'm really pleased with that, because I wanted, when we had children, I wanted that to be me. I wanted to be somebody who was close to their children, etc. But in terms of personal life and spending time with family, it does play into it. Like Boxing Day coming up, there's a football game, if it's still on. I'm covering that with our show called The Match Day Ticket. That rules me out for family events. Now, luckily this year it's fallen on the in-law family events, so I ain't too fussed. My wife is, but myself, no, darn it, that's a shame. But sometimes it's a real pain. But I do it for them, and they know I do it for them, because you know, if this ever was to make any money, and it's got the potential to, if the football club does well, but if it ever does make any money, that's going to help us perhaps have a second child, or allow my wife to work one less day out of the 5, you know, and spend more time with our son. You know, it just allows us to, and that's why I'm doing it, just for my family. You know, and they know that. They know that, I hope. Yeah.
I think it's obvious to see there's so much commitment that goes into it. And I don't think you're just doing it for your family. You're doing it for the community now that you've built up as well. So I feel like you don't want to let them down.
100%. No.
So,
If I'm ill and there's the show's in jeopardy, I like recently I had pneumonia, but you battle through.
Yeah.
Battle through, because there's people on the other end of that that webcam watching, listening, that are like, well, they are my friends. They're my brothers and my sisters. Ipswich Town fraternity, and I want them to love and enjoy what we do, I do, the content does, the platform does, as much as I do. And when you meet them, as I've met yourself, and you're there at Sir Ralph Ramsey statue, and sometimes some of the stuff you hear, and particularly when we went back after COVID for the very first few weeks, the people that would stop me with tears in their eyes and say how much the platform helped them get through lockdown 1 or particularly lockdown 2, how much it meant to them, male, female, young, old, some people, myself, I wouldn't expect to have ever really watched what I do. It sometimes can be have profanities. It's, I would class it as Arsenal fan TV sort of stuff. But some people that stop me, I'm like, wow, this is a broad range of people from cross places that love what we do and have really helped. So yeah, that's why I do it. That's why I do it. And anything else after that is a benefit of it.
Yeah. I think I sort of fall into that category as well, of not really watching podcasts, listening to podcasts and stuff like that. Obviously, I know I do my own one now, but Talking Town, I think, is one of the only ones I've ever really got involved with. So that's obviously a credit to yourself, but the content that you produce as well, the people that you get involved with as well, because as I say, I keep coming back to the word community. Like, it's a massive community now that you guys have built. So I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm sure everyone else is too. But throughout this series of the podcast, series 1, the aim of this podcast has been to focus on some of the testing times that we all go through at some point along the way in our personal lives. So talk to us about some of the harder challenges. Some of you have already referenced, I know, that have experienced throughout your personal life, maybe something that not a lot of people know about you, that made you who you are today.
Gosh, well, with my life, sadly, where do you want to start? As I say, I'm disabled due to an accident that's now permanent. Several surgeries. I'm made of metal in my back now. That will never be what it is. So I will never be what I used to be, which in a way is good, because who I am now is a much better person, much more mature person, much more reasoned and measurable person. But I was raised by my grandparents, my mother's parents, my granddad and my nana raised me, because when my mum met her husband, we clashed. So I was forced to move out. And so I was raised by my grandparents, and that's who I call dad. We say lost dad, but I called my nan my mum. And that's really made me who I am. To face that adversity when I was only 12, not quite sure what's going on. That's what's made me what I believe is who I am. Very, very paternal, quite open with my emotions, and honest, not as honest as I can be. I truly think and believe my word is my bond. And if I will say it how I see it, and that has lost me friends. That has also gained me friends, and I'll forever do that. And that's why these platforms are the way they are, honest. And I always say that I'm filtered, because you get enough people saying, things have changed or distorted or whatever. I'm just me, honest to the days long, and you might not.
I think that's all you can be. I think that's all you can be. I think so many people try and be something they're not. But as long as you're yourself, I think if you hold true to those kind of beliefs, then what else can you do? People won't like you, people will like you, but it's just the way of the world, unfortunately.
So it's how I firmly have been brought up by my grandparents, who have a certain generation to be. You be honest with who you are and with them, and people will respect that. They might like it, but they'll respect it, and it's a good platform and a foundation to build any relationship on.
Definitely. So you're a massive supporter of mental health. You showcase that through obviously today's chat, but also your own podcast too. But just how important is it to you, and why are you so passionate about it?
Again, it probably stems back to that period of my life when I was 12, because I saw a counsellor. It affected me in many ways, and growing up, it was all about overcoming and being strong as I can. I didn't go to high school, didn't have any high school schooling, because I had glandular fever for 5 years off the back of that incident when I was 12. So again, you have that sort of period away from socialization. You've got to learn new social techniques in terms of how to integrate with people again at college, and that was really difficult. But I'm a big positive mental attitude person. You need to do what makes you happy. You have to and that, again, that's being back to being honest. But really, it's about, if you need to block somebody on social media, for example, block them. If you need to mute them. If you need to step away for a moment, step away for a moment. Do what you need to do and how you need to do it, and never be ashamed to say, as I have recently myself on social media, I'm struggling a little bit here. I recently posted a picture of myself on some medication, dealing with some anxiety. No doubt I'll probably worry about this interview and what I've said for the next 3 days, 4 days. Probably went to sleep. Did I say too much? Did I say not enough? Did I say it wrong? Did I not say that correctly? Different things when you got anxiety. But if you're honest with people and say, look, I'm struggling, it makes it normal. And the more we make it normal, the better and easier society will be. Yeah,
completely agree. I think one thing that has kind of affected mental health in recent times is obviously the global pandemic. How much from a personal point of view how much of an effect did it have on you personally? I know there's sort of like positives and negatives out of it, but I suppose one positive was obviously talking town, building that community. You probably wouldn't have been able to do it as the length you have done it without the global pandemic potentially. But how much of an effect did it have on you?
It's going to sound strange, but it didn't, in all honesty, because it was more people coming into my world. Yeah, and having to experience what I experienced on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. When I go out, I have to plan meticulously where I'm going, where I'm parking, how I'm getting there, how I'm getting back, because of a disability. For so long, I didn't have my son. He's only turning 2 in March. So for years, because I've been disabled now for 8-9 years, it was just me. And my wife would go to work, and if I wanted to go out, couldn't, unless I was going to Tesco's, because literally you can park right outside, because the town centres, you can't guarantee a car parking space, all different things like that. So when people suddenly felt that they couldn't go outside their houses either, it was a little bit of what I'd been experiencing. So I was able to help people overcome some of the mental hurdles and issues of that claustrophobic feeling, and that in turn created some relationships with people that I'd lost contact with, or maybe people that I hadn't even met before, because I was able to relate really, really well, and have some strategies in place to deal with things. Yeah, already.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, this last episode falls shortly before Christmas, and it's obviously a special time of year. You obviously mentioned that it's going to be mostly with the in-laws this year, but what does Christmas mean to you, and what are your plans this year?
Christmas is a really strange time for me. Dad loved Christmas, so it was a huge time. Go and pick the tree, to the food, to certain films, music, etc. He really was big on Christmas, because as a kid he didn't have Christmas, so when he grew up he wanted Christmas in a really over the top way, like literally Santas that sing and dance and all sort, penguins. If you walk into B&M, basically one of the aisles in there is dad's aisle, because he loved that sort of stuff. And every time he walked to a shop he'd buy it. So after we lost him, it really was hard for me at this time of year. But since having my son, I'm now of the same attitude, really. So this year I'm really excited. I'm now buying all the stuff that I was just describing for places like B&M, the lights everywhere. I'm just like a big kid again, because I want him to have the love of Christmas that I had. Yeah, with family and friends and music and food and all that sort of stuff. My wife is really like, you keep spending money. Not in that voice, but hey, it's Christmas once a year. It's what I keep telling her. It's only Christmas but once a year. And today I spent another 80 quid, and she's gonna go mad when she finds out. But shh, it's our secret. It's people behind brands, our secret.
Yeah, definitely. So as we look to the future and a new year on the horizon in 2022, what would you say are your big plans for Talking Town, and obviously for you for the future?
Yeah, For me, it's just to be the best dad and husband I can possibly be. With Talking Town, what will be will be. I use Christmas, that period between Christmas, that reads, I call it the dead zone, 26th, 7th to the 2nd of January, where you just basically eating cheese and drinking the leftover ciders, wines, amarettos. I use that period normally when I used to work to sit down and plan or think about where I've been the last year and where personally I wanted to go. Yeah. So I think, again, as I did last year for the Talking Town, I think I'll use this period again to do the same thing. So right now, I don't know. But for me personally, it's about being the best dad and husband first and foremost that I can possibly be.
Yeah. I think we can't really end this podcast without me asking you your thoughts currently on Ipswich Town. So as we currently stand, we've just appointed a new manager, Mr. McKenna, and currently sitting obviously League One. So, you know, what are your thoughts for Ipswich Town going forward? What are your overall thoughts?
You know me, Tux. I don't often give my own thoughts because my role as the Gov inverted commas, as host of the shows, is balance. So if you came on and said, you know, left is left, and then the other contributor says left is left, someone at home will be right is right. Yeah. So I will be right as right. Whereas another show, I will have to be the left is left. So I come across all opinions. I try and read as much as I can across as many platforms as I can to get as many opinions as I can to be that balanced character. But so that in turn means my own opinion sometimes is lost or I have to bury it or whatever. So when you ask me things like that, it's almost like, you know, the fourth wall being broken down. You know, it's like, do I give you my thoughts? Yes, I do. Exciting stuff. Very exciting for what McKenna can do. I'm notoriously not great with first names, so I'm not going to give him go for his first name. I think it's Kieran. I think, isn't it? I think it's Kieran, but I want to say Liam all the time out of Liam Mackay from Harchester United's dream team. I keep thinking of that. And he also looks a little bit like Liam Mackay as well. So it's getting me every single time. But I think it's a really exciting time for the football club. And having spoken to the owners and known them since they took over and had that relationship with them, the things that they've got for this football club is so exciting. That if it can work, if it can get from the paper to the field, we ain't got enough media outlets, put it that way.
Well, I mean, you've had obviously the guys on, haven't you, the new owners? We have. And obviously they've been kind enough to obviously give up their time and, you know, be quite truthful in their opinions and stuff like that. But for you, thinking about these new owners, where the club is going, you know, from a direction point of view, what would you say, if you was a betting man in the next like 3 to 5 years, where do you see Ipswich Town?
3 to 5, well, sky's the limit. Absolutely, sky's the limit. It's about momentum and, like I say, translating what I know they've got on paper to the football field. And as you've seen already with the 19 new signings, never known that in ITFC's history. In fact, it's never happened in ITFC's history before. They sacked a manager only 44 games into a reign. Again, we're known for patience. They want promotion out of League One as soon as possible, and then they're ambitious. They'll want promotion out of the Championship as soon as possible, I'm sure, you know, because you need to be in the Premier League in football, full stop. People know the Premier League, and it's a joke. There is football outside the Premier League, but if you're not in the Premier League, you may as well not really exist, let's be honest, to the wider neutral. And with TV deals in China or America or wherever they're doing TV deals now, only going up and up because live sport attracts live broadcasting, which in turn attracts advertising revenue, which drives up the price of football. Premier League is where you need to be to make money, full stop.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm hoping that we can be there sooner rather than later.
So are they. So am I.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's difficult. I mean, as I said before, it's such a chore sort of, you know, supporting this club. But, you know, you do meet good people such as yourself and the community and stuff like that. And I'd rather be a part of that, even if we're in League One for the next 20 years, right? I'd rather be a part of that than be an armchair supporter following United, City,
100%.
Whoever. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Because it means more. It's your club.
I agree. And I completely agree with you. But you do want to be still maybe a Man City fan that says, do you remember when we were there at...
oh, yeah.
Remember we were there at Aqua Stanley and they beat us 2-0 or 2-1, or there's only 5 of us at Arsenal on the 21s or whatever. But Something that one of the owners said to me will always stick with me, and something that I often share on Talking Town. It's supporting your football team should not be a chore.
Yeah,
they don't want to make it a chore. They want to make it, and Saturday proved that. It should be something that you really enjoy and you can't wait to get back to. So with that mentality, sky's the limit.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Look, Gov, thanks for coming on, mate. I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. I'm really enjoying being part of Talking Town, and I can only see it growing. So perhaps you might like to tell our listeners where they can visit Talking Town and how Ipswich Town fans can get involved.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, it's my honour to be on this platform that you've created. It's my honour to be a guest of yours, because I listen to these podcasts. I've really enjoyed them as you produce them. So thank you for doing it, and thank you for asking me today to be on it. But you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. On YouTube, it's Home Dressing Room, or just put in Talking Town, Ipswich Town FC. You'll probably find us. On Twitter, I'm at HDR Martin. Stop by, give us a follow, say hello. I'm quite nice, I think.
Sometimes.
But
no, honestly, guys, look, Talking Town is an incredible platform for Ipswich Town fans, and even some away fans as well, because we've, Talking Town have had away fans on as well. So yeah, please do get involved, and obviously keep an eye out for Martin as well. But sadly, it's time to bring the curtain down on Series 1. If you've enjoyed our chat today or any of our previous episodes, please make sure you like and follow our channel on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. People Behind Brands will return in 2022 with brand new guests and more life lessons from the world of business. In the meantime, you can still follow our movement at Podcast PBB on social media. But for now, on behalf of myself and the team at Making Websites Better, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So that's it for this episode of People Behind Brands. I'd love to hear from you all, so if you want to get in touch, follow us on our social media platforms. If you like what you heard, please rate and subscribe to our exclusive content now. Join us next time for a brand new guest on the podcast as we explore yet more life lessons from the world of business. We'll see you soon. Ta-da!